What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Niners Lounge post-game show. I am Chris Francesco. Ron and Mav are with you guys as well, and we are here to talk about the fresh 2-0 San Francisco 49ers. The Niners took care of business today, winning 30-23 against the Los Angeles Rams in a I mean, you could call it basically a home game. It was just nuts. I mean, when the Rams came out of the tunnel on television, you could hear that it was booze. It was just unreal to see. But nonetheless, Ron, Mav, what's going on, guys? How about that? 2-0. It looked a little hairy for a while in the first half, but notwithstanding, this team, man, it was a tale of two halves, and at the end, 2-0, San Francisco 49ers. Ron, your opening thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're 2-0, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot to take away from this game. I know Mav has a lot that he wants to talk through. Where do we want to even start? Do we want to start with the positive? Do we want to start with the negatives? I know I have notes on what I took away, but I'm going to bounce it back to Mav and see what he wants to talk through first, because I know he has a lot to say.
Mhm.
Let's start off with the D line. Actually, we got bulldozed. I mean, are we certain that we're gonna continue going throughout the season, not getting ran over? I mean, that was a rookie, not even a established guy in the NFL yet. So,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, Najee Harris didn't do anything last week. We held him down. We looked good, but I mean, first half. Well, I'm saying first three quarters. That did not look like the same defense of week one at all.
Mm-mm.
I really felt like a momentum shift more than a defensive adjustment.
I
Well,
see what you mean. I mean, look, I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Chris.
So, for me, and look, based off of our text thread, since thankfully nobody else sees it, because I was basically losing my mind for the first half. I think you're right. That first half, man, it was one. The D line was really bothering me because they were producing almost no pressure on Matthew Stafford. And if there's one person on the field that I don't want to get on a roll, it's Matt Stafford. Like
Hmm.
the boy could still throw, and that was very much clear. He was. I think he was he was 34-55 this afternoon, over 300 yards. But those two picks, which the one pick, his second pick wasn't his fault. That was right out of the hands of his receiver. But nonetheless, the D line really worried me. Nick Bosa got next to no pressure until maybe the middle of the fourth quarter against Stafford. So I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about Bosa. I mean, who knows? They play the Giants on Thursday night. He might get 3 or 4 sacks on Thursday night. But the D line worried me in that first half. But I will say I wasn't a fan of the defensive scheme in that first half. And what I mean by that, the Rams took advantage of the soft zones, and they were, denying the 49ers, pressure in the first half. But Steve Wilks really dialed up the blitz big time in the second half. In the first half, only 3 of 20 dropbacks, there was 0 pressures. In the second half, there was blitzes, 13 of 30 dropbacks, 9 pressures. So basically, I mean, I know Mav, you're critical of Wilks. Not critical, it's haven't seen enough,
I'm very
right?
questionable of him.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. So, but I will say, obviously, at the end of that first half, when we were talking the whole time, Matt Stafford did whatever Matt Stafford wanted to do in that first half. But Steve Wilks saw something, and it was clear. It was, we're not getting into the quarterback. And that second half, was it a third quarter that Fred Warner just bulldozed
Yeah,
in through that line to take out Stafford? I felt like that was the change in the mentality of that defense at that point, because after that, the defense was getting in there. Like you said, 9 pressures in the second half. What about you, Ron?
Well, I don't know. Call me crazy, but it's almost seems like it was by design though, because they were just rushing four.
Okay.
And it was almost like go ahead and throw everything at us. We're gonna sit back and see what you guys have.
Hmm.
And then in the second half, it was a completely different defensive play scheme.
Hmm.
They were blitzing. They were bringing five guys to the line, and you can almost say they shut it down.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if I mean, yeah, our front seven was getting bulldozed in the first half, but the looks that the Rams were getting from our defense was very basic.
Hmm.
And
Um,
it almost reminds me of the Packers game in the playoffs where we just completely shut it down in the second half. It's like, go ahead, throw the kitchen sink at us. Let's see everything that you got, and we're just going to lock you down second half.
yeah,
Maybe I'm
and
optimistic.
for sure. And I will say this: while under duress, I just saw this stat. When under duress, Matthew Stafford was 1 for 10 for 15 yards today. So the game plan all along, whether that was the game plan all along and it just didn't work out in the first half, the game plan all along. And if you watch tape, we talked about this the other on Wednesday night. All you have to do is get to Matthew Stafford and mistakes will happen. 2 picks. When you start
Yep.
pressuring the guy, he's going to put the ball where you can make a play in terms of defensively. And that's what happened. And that's what really turned the game around. You know, you guys were, I forget who said it, maybe Ron, maybe Mike said it, whereas just once you start pressuring Matt Stafford, we're going to get one. We're going to get 1 or 2. And that's what happened. The game turned around when Stafford turned the ball over. Mav, your thoughts. I did bring up right before, right backstage, right before we hit record here. You did say, should we still credit Wilkes for the adjustment at the end of the first half? You're still not of that mindset of let's not give him that, or right now?
Like I said, I mean, I really didn't see him as far as like adjusting the defense. Like
Mm-hmm.
we just said, the interception and everything that happened was more like a momentum shift
Mm-hmm.
for those guys. If you look when Fred Warner went in, I'm not even sure who was supposed to block him, but that guy slid way too much to the left, leaving that
Mhm.
window wide open.
For
And
sure.
as I saw the defense started attacking Stafford more, it was more like the Rams O line got tired.
Mhm.
So
I think so too. I would like to see, and I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see what the time of possession was because I felt like it was, again, a tale of two halves. I felt like in the first half, the Rams had the ball for a while. I think in the second half, the Niners kind of took that over just a little bit. I'll have to go find. For some reason, I couldn't find time of possession. But yeah, where do you want to go to next there?
Well, so here, I wanted to talk about that as well because there's three stats that I've told the guys over and over. That's the formula to the Super Bowl. It's going to be time of possession. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Yep.
third down efficiency and conversion offensively, and it's going to be the turnover battle. And I want to pull up the stats
Good. Okay.
because ever since Purdy has taken over, those three statistics we pretty much dominate and win in. And as you can tell, it directly correlates to our win-loss record.
Mhm.
So let me pull it up. Oh, our time of possession was lost this game actually, and that's rare.
yeah,
That's rare.
Rams had it
So
33 minutes.
33 minutes, and that's not by too much, but we usually win that battle.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree.
Yeah,
Now,
third down efficiency. The fact that we came away with a win and we didn't win in these three categories is amazing. It's a win. Third down efficiency, 2 out of 10.
Mhm.
Rams were 7 out of 14. And
Yeah.
of course, we won the turnover battle, which is probably
Mhm.
the
and
most
29 first
important stat.
downs for the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
29.
Versus
I
our
knew it was a
21.
lot. Oh, 21 first downs?
No, there's 29 versus our 21.
We got 21. Yeah. Now, would I be crazy if I said this game was a lucky win?
Well, here's a better question. Did we underestimate the Rams?
Yeah, I think
We
so.
did.
We did.
I think so. Well, when you won, that's the 9th consecutive regular season win over the Rams. And a lot of those last 8 were, we kind of handed them a pretty solid beatdown. So I think going into this game, and you look at a team that's had so much turnover on the roster of the last year, I think naturally the first instinct is they're going to blow them out. But look, that last field goal was, to cover that backdoor 7.5 spread. So, but still, nonetheless, in my eyes, it's a 10-point win. A 10-point win in the NFL is nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
So
I mean,
yeah, we should be celebrating this win. I don't know.
I agree. Hands down. That's 9 consecutive wins now in the regular season over our rivals. Like it's I love it. There's nothing better than beating the Rams. I love it. I said that on Wednesday. And look, it was tremendous, and it's crazy to think, guys. I think that's the first start. Is that the first start since Purdy took over? He didn't have 2 touchdowns. He had no touchdowns today.
Yeah.
Very first one.
Yeah. Very first one.
Mm-hmm. He was 17 of 25 for 206 yards. McCaffrey, again, averaged 6 yards a carry on 116 yards on 20 carries. Although it didn't show up significantly on the scoreboard from a receptions and yards standpoint, Deebo Samuel was Deebo circa 2021 this afternoon. I mean, that boy, man, holy cow. Deebo was tremendous. And then that touchdown run that he had was just what a beast. Yeah, that was Deebo.
Classic Deebo. Agreed.
Yeah, he's like he's a bad man went against the Rams.
Yeah, he is. I mean, this was supposed to be an IU's game. You've seen it right out the gate.
Right at the gate.
Got hurt. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for me, I was like, you know what? Just keep him out the rest of the game because we don't even need him for Thursday night. Let him rest up. Neck injury is nothing to play with, and we're gonna need him for the whole season. He can still bust over 1,000 yards, easy, even missing 3 games. But I would much rather him staying out the whole game and staying out Thursday night, just to prevent further injuries.
Yeah, although, and I know it's football and you can't control it. It just sucks that he gets hurt on a short week before a Thursday night game. And look, I mean, they barely did anything with him in that whole second half. And obviously because of that injury, that was by design. But look, before we, I guess, get to anything else, I do want to bring up to you guys something that we talked about, and it was very clear during the game. If there's only one criticism that I can have of Brock Purdy, that's all I have is one. It's he's got to get a better touch on those balls beyond 20 yards because he overthrew all 3 of his wide receivers. The trio today all got overthrown. The first one was the bomb to Ayuk, which if that's caught, that's 7. And Jennings was the second one. That would have been just a big 30 or 40 yard play. That would have been huge. And the third one was, again, a throw that was, I mean, Deebo had incredible separation down the middle of the field, and it was just thrown over him. Now, again, he doesn't have a noodle arm. It was too strong of a throw. So, look, I don't think this offense isn't designed for the deep ball, but it would be nice to have that, in your chamber once in a while to be able to hit it. So did those 3 plays kind of worry you guys at all in terms of the development of Purdy, or is that something whereas the offense isn't built for that, but it would be nice to have?
So I said let's get. I want to get to Purdy. I do want to get to Purdy, but I also wanted to talk about the defense real quick.
Okay.
Because I know Mav has a lot. I know Mav has a lot to say about Purdy. I wanted to actually peel down the game a little bit and just break it down. So let's start with our defense. Last year we had a historic defense. I know it's just week two, and I'm going to throw this out every week because it's week by week. Have we taken a step back? Are there any position groups that we're concerned with? Any depth on the roster?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Um,
And Nick Bosa, Nick Bosa's another piece that I wanted to talk through. So I wanted to start with the defense to get an idea of like what, I want to just build the stage for Mav and his comeback with Purdy. So, um, go ahead.
so I mean, just like I said on Wednesday, that secondary worries me. It really does. Puka Nakua had 15 catches for 150 yards today. The first receiver to ever have over 10 plus catches his first 2 games. I think he has the most catches now in NFL history in his first 2 games. Atwell, who's like 5'1", he's barely taller than me. He was 7 for nearly 80. Kyron Williams had 6 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. And then, that's really, to me, I don't know what the defensive scheme was with these, but I am so thankful to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that Cooper Kupp was not playing this game. That would have been really difficult. I'm not sure. I'm being, God's honest truth here, guys. I'm not sure this is a W if Cooper Kupp was in this game. So that was, one of those blessings in disguise there, that he wasn't playing this game. But that secondary worries me. I mean, it seems like they're the kind of defense where they'll come up with that huge interception at really big moments, which is tremendous. But for the rest of that game, man, I just felt like whoever Matt Stafford wanted to throw to in that first, almost 3 full quarters, whoever he wanted to throw to, they were open. I didn't see any really good man coverage on any of these receivers today. And I mean, did I miss something? And I mean, did you guys see something that maybe I didn't?
No,
You didn't miss it. You didn't miss
I
a
don't
thing
think
at
you
all.
missed.
So,
I think you've hit it. I mean, you're pretty much dead on. What I concluded from our D line is that we couldn't beat them with the straight 4-on-4.
You're right. Could not.
We could
Nope.
not beat them with our straight and with Bosa and the addition of Hargraves and Armstead, that's we should be winning that battle, and we're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was concerning. Is it a combination of our secondary as well? I don't know, but I was more concerned about the lack of pass rush and our front 4 not getting home.
Mm-hmm.
now, you mentioned Cooper Kupp. Even though I really don't like this guy too much, I don't think he's a great running back. Kyron Williams should hold that job over him, but Cam Akers, he can catch too. So that would have been 5 different targets that Stafford would have had on that field had 2 of those guys been healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Kyron Williams had what? I mean, he averaged 4 yards a carry. He had that rushing touchdown, but he also, again, he had 6 catches and a touchdown. I mean, he had a rushing and a receiving touchdown, so he was all over the place too.
Exactly. Now imagine adding Cam Akers into that mix and Cooper Kupp into that mix. You see what because we have to play them again, so we have to look forward.
We have to give the Rams credit. I
We
mean,
do.
Their game plan was effective against our pass rush because everything was quick, everything was a screen, everything was the outside. It was executed perfectly in the first half to to beat our pass rush. And I mean, they're familiar with us, so we can't discredit McVay.
I mean, for God's sake, Matthew Stafford didn't even get touched up until like the last couple of minutes of the third quarter, going into the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is that something that we need to worry about week to week? Are we underestimating the Giants next week?
Well, the good thing is that we're playing the Giants because
yeah, that's the problem. I mean, look, hey, the Giants though look like a team. Look, although they looked brutal on that opener against Dallas, they did come back down 20 points today
and won that game.
Point. And they won that game. So this is a team that's going to, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Saquon, but you are right, though, Ron, going up against, I'm happy we're going in to play the Giants and not the Eagles on Thursday, or we're not playing Dallas Thursday night. Like, I'm happy that this is a game coming up where you have a chance to kind of right these wrongs from today. This is a chance for Wilks to dial up the best possible scheme for that D-line to just get to the quarterback. I want Thursday, maybe we can talk about this when we have our Wednesday show. I really want this game to be the game where Nick Bosa has like a TJ Watt type game from week 1. That's what I really want to see. I want to see that explosion, and I want to see that dominance.
I'm glad you brought up Nick Bosa because
Good.
we have to talk about Nick Bosa.
I agree.
It's week 2.
Mm-hmm.
He still has no sacks.
Yep. One
And
pressure, maybe one pressure.
right, he doesn't look like Nick Bosa. Can we agree that him not being in camp hurt him? And do we expect him to miss next year?
Okay, so if we agree him not being in camp kind of hurt him, are we blaming him or the Niners for not signing that contract early?
I think I blame both. I blame both for not putting enough emphasis on saying, hey, I know we might be off by this much or that much, but no matter what, I want to get done by the start of camp. Like, that's on
Right.
both. That's a communication breakdown.
I agree.
Yeah. But I mean, he's
So-
not going to do it
Mike-
next year because he's signed. He's locked in.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can't pretend it didn't hurt him.
Yeah, no. Anyone who pretends now, any other content creator that wants to go on there and say, oh, it's okay. Bosa's fine. Yeah, okay. He just remember last year when Nick Bosa wasn't getting sacks, nobody else was. So now we're 2 weeks in. Drake Jackson had a huge week 1, wasn't around super much in week 2. Hargrave was AWOL on the stat sheet today. Nick Bosa AWOL on the stat sheet today. Just saying, if you want this D line to be what we want this D line to be, it starts with 97. That's what it starts with. So that's how,
Also-
and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, Ron. Like, there has to be blame right there on the Bosa camp.
So what, Bosa
Yeah.
had 1 hit and 1 assist.
Yeah, that was in the fourth quarter, I think. Like, he fell on someone and got the assist. So, but I didn't see him. There was one play where I did see him evade the double team, but I mean, Stafford had already released the ball. But I saw a lot of single lineups against Bosa today that he just didn't get to the quarterback.
I might have been a
And-
little critical of Isaiah Oliver, though, man. Seriously. I mean, he got into the game, 3 tackles, 3 assists,
Mm-hmm.
1 INT. I
Yep.
mean, he played very well to be a backup or coming in and out.
And look,
I'm not mad
I
at
was really happy with Lenore. I mean, there was a point where he was in concussion protocol, and he comes back out and he gets that big interception. Once he nailed that INT, I was like, oh my god, thank goodness! I think this is a W now. But again, regardless of the interception, I thought Lenore did not play well. I thought he was burned quite a few times. I did not particularly think Ward had a good game at all either. So. I'm worried, guys. Like, I'm worried when we go up against, again, the Cowboys in a couple weeks to go up against a CD Lamb type player. I'm just concerned. That's all. I mean, again, it's week 2. I'm 95% of me is positive, but there's that 5% that just creeps in the back of my brainstem where I'm just like, oh, when we play a much better team, what's it going to look like? And then we
We're-
just said it. What if
Well,
we played?
right.
What if we did play a Cooper Cup and Cam Akers? Like, it's a significantly different game. I'm assuming it is because at the talent
I
level
will
is
say
much
this.
more.
I will say this. From what I've seen today, the Rams look like the best receiving core that we'll face all year.
I mean, you'll see AJ Brown and Devontae Smith with the Eagles.
I'm not concerned about those just 2 guys. You're talking about a plethora of receivers on one team at one time.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
but the problem with the Eagles is that Jalen Hurts is not the threat that Matthew Stafford is.
Exactly.
He doesn't scare me. Like
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts may have taken a step back this year. I don't know. He's not the thrower that Stafford is. So that's
And
why
Dak doesn't scare me either.
Who?
Dak, he doesn't scare me.
Dak doesn't
Mm.
scare me at all either. You know, honestly, out of those 3 guys, I would be more concerned with Stafford.
Hmm.
And as you can see why. But
Dak had a really
I
good
mean,
game today.
Yeah, he did have a good game today.
hmm
He
CD
had a
was
good game
11
today.
for 145 today.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he did. But I
Where
mean,
are
Matthew
you-
Stafford line was better. It looked stronger.
You may have answered this, Chris, but I'm curious to know, where
Mm-hmm.
is your biggest concern? What's your biggest concern on? Is it on the defensive side of the ball? it's the D line or it's the corners or is it everything?
That's a loaded question because when you don't pressure the quarterback, you put more pressure on your secondary. So when you're not pressuring the quarterback, then your secondary has to make the plays. So to me, everything in football, it's cliche. Everything in football begins in the trenches.
Mhm.
So to me, my biggest concern then is the defensive line. If you are not going to get to the quarterback, you're going to have problems. You're right. Like if you're playing a team with decent receivers and a good tight end, and your D line's not pressuring the quarterback, you're going to give up some plays. And I don't
Especially if they
want
can't
to.
stop no run.
Yeah, like I can't. I don't want to play from behind. I don't want to have to come back from a score or 2 scores down. I just don't want to do it. So, by the way, Mav, they were down right at some point today, and then Purdy was able to lead a nice little comeback.
They were down one. They were down 7 points early into the game.
I know.
That's not a comeback.
That's still a
That's
comeback.
plenty of time for him to do what he wants
Mike,
to do.
what's up, brother?
That's Mav moving the goal. That's Mav moving the goalpost.
No, Mike, you're moving the goalpost, Mike.
This. No, I'm not. I have never fucking once moved the goalpost in this team.
No, this time you were moving it because listen.
No. What have I moved it on? What did I move it on? Please explain.
Because
Give me a fact.
my
Don't answer the question. Give me a fact on how I've moved the goalpost. I want a straight fact from you right now.
I'm telling you right now how you moving it because of what I said last show. If Purdy's down 2 scores with 6 to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, can he mount a comeback? That was what I said.
That is.
So
what
how am I
Mav
moving the goalpost? Yeah, it is what you
Because
said.
you're making it seem like I'm moving the goalpost at this time. I mean, the man was already like going into the half. That was a beautiful thing. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. I was like, okay, I see it. I got you. But that was just 7 points with a whole half left.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he was down 2 scores, he still had plenty of time. The 5 to 6.
Why do you want to see him come back from 2 scores? You want the team to be in a position where they don't have to do that.
No, listen, if the man is being called a real deal, I want to see what makes him the real deal. I don't want to just take Kyle Shanahan's word for it. I want to see. We've seen everything that we could possibly see from Purdy, right? Except for a comeback.
Do you think Jalen Hurts is the real deal?
Did it come out my mouth? No, I never said that. He's a good quarterback.
I'm gonna start throwing out elite quarterbacks to see who you think a real deal is.
He's a good quarterback.
Who out there right now? Who do you think the real deal is as a quarterback?
I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes.
That's the only real deal out there right now.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Don't say Josh Allen.
I won't.
Don't say Joe Burrow.
I won't say Josh Allen. No, but look. Hey, today they were able to muster up 30 points without their quarterback throwing a touchdown. That's big.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
So hold up, I missed it. I must have missed it because I was trying to get Drew added to this show. But why do we not think Purdy's the real deal? I missed that part.
I think it was a question of if he's elite or not.
If he's elite or not.
Yeah, I don't think he's elite. I can't strap that onto somebody yet. See, to me, like elite is, you're looking at he's a game changer to the 10th degree. Like Patrick Mahomes to me is realistically, I think, the only legitimate elite quarterback in the NFL right now.
I agree with that. I've said that before.
But I will say you don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl because regardless of who won the Super Bowl last February, Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes on the field that day.
Yeah, he did.
So it's you got to be in the right place at the right time. I think Purdy can become elite. What is he? 9 or 10 starts in his career, so he's 23 years old. But I think it does say something as a leader and as a game manager that you can go throw 200 yards, no touchdowns, don't turn the ball over, and your offense is still able to score 30 points and you win a game. So I think while Purdy's not elite, I think he is well on his way to being one of those top tier guys. Because look,
I
the
agree
name of
with
the
that.
game is look, you throw 2 touchdowns a game and you don't throw any picks, your team should be in a position to win every single week.
Whoa, Matt, do you agree with that now?
I agree with that statement. He is on his way. Listen, I told you before, man, I don't have a problem with Purdy. I have a problem with the whole quarterback situation was handled. That's my only thing. But then when you go on and call this man the real deal after 7 games, like, dude, you gave Jimmy Garoppolo a big contract after 5 games, and look what we got for 5 years. So when you tell me about somebody's a real deal, I want to really see the real deal.
Well,
And that's the only thing, a comeback.
to be fair,
Huh?
Jimmy was paid because if he wasn't, someone else would have, and we needed a quarterback at the time. So, yeah, did we overpay? Sure, but
Jimmy
someone else
Garoppolo
would've.
won a ton of football games.
Right. If
for
we
the
would have assigned him,
49ers.
someone else would have paid him after he won 5 straight games. So they kind of had to.
But see, we spoke about this before though, that the quarterback market is broken. It is, as far as like paying these guys. That's why we had the conversation last night about me saying I don't believe any one of these quarterbacks should go in the first round come next draft. If you really want to see
that's
what
never
you
gonna
have, what happened?
It's unfortunately never going to happen.
That's never going to happen.
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
We know that, but wishful thinking. Hopefully they'll see this podcast and they'll be like, maybe he's on to something here. Why do we need to go and pick this guy when we can wait to the second round and pay less money when the time comes around if he does work out?
The answer to that is because a team it's a business, and when it's a business, you need revenue, and you're starving for a face of your team, and a quarterback is a perfect person to go out and get.
The quarterbacks, they run football.
Team. Right.
Yeah. And look, we all know Michael Irvin listens to this show too, so that's clear.
Right.
And
exactly.
he proved my point this morning. So,
right.
Hello, Michael Irvin. I don't like you or the Cowboys, but keep watching.
But you're right, man. You're absolutely right.
But Matt, to that point, you said you wouldn't have to pay them later on. That's not true. It doesn't matter where a quarterback goes. When they get to that point, you don't think we're going to be paying Purdy $50 million a year if he's the guy?
If he's a guy, he's
cheap right now, but when it comes time to pay him, we're going to pay him market value.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, I mean you've got 3 years. We got 3 years to realize what this kid is. But look, hey, if he wins the divisions and if he keeps winning playoff games, if somehow Purdy gets to a Super Bowl before those 3 years, you know damn well he will be paid before those 3 years are up.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, can we not forget he was the last pick of the draft, and we're holding him to we're measuring him against the top 3 picks. We're measuring him against elite quarterbacks. The fact that he's Mr. Irrelevant and he is where he is should tell us a lot about him already.
I agree.
That's exactly why I agree with Mike when it comes to Mav likes to move the carrot down the road. It's like my only issue with Mav's analysis is that he forgets that Purdy isn't even supposed to be in the position that he's in. He's already won.
Yeah, I didn't forget that at all.
We witnessed history today. It was the first time in NFL history the number 1 overall pick went up against the last overall pick.
It don't matter if you wait for him to fail. He was already supposed to fail a long time ago. He's winning no matter what.
I think the thing is, though, guys, I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Look at the quarterbacks that got paid. Look how they're performing. Joe Burrow is looking like absolute trash.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, he didn't do much today. Jalen Hurts is not looking like the Jalen Hurts they got paid in the back. Brock Purdy is the cheapest starting quarterback in the league right now, and he's outperforming all of these guys. Hands down. No question about it.
How dare you disrespect the good darn name of Daniel Jones?
I didn't even bring him up.
Well, that man got paid, man.
Good for them. He did. And good for them for that comeback win.
That was mad. Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah.
They're going to get destroyed on Thursday. It's going to be a great thing.
And I don't know if you saw, Mike, that Saquon was helped off the field.
Yeah, he might be out for a little bit.
So I'm trying to find out any information about that because I'm really trying to figure that out. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though.
How did Dak do today?
Dak did very
He did all
well.
right. He did good.
Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I know
I saw
threw.
a couple like almost picks because I was
Oh.
kind of watching him on a side screen. But
Today, Dak went 31 for 38 for 255 and 2 touchdowns.
okay,
He was really efficient today. My man Zach Wilson, making me look like an idiot, had 3 picks.
But
they need
But
to go
hold
get a
on.
quarterback fast.
back to Purdy, though. Back to Purdy.
Yeah, sorry.
What happened to the Chargers, Mike?
Are we concerned?
We don't need to talk about the Chargers.
Let's not talk about the
That
Raiders
that
either.
pick that pick that I made about them in the division. That's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad
Yeah,
hot take.
Me and the Vikings too.
It don't feel bad now. I picked the Giants to win their division, so I mean we're on the boat together right now.
But
Yeah,
hey,
we all got awful picks.
Can we just bring up one thing and let's kind of
Go
go back to the game for one quick second? Can we please give some flowers, like expensive proflowers.com, to Colton McKivitz and Burford for what they did on that offensive line today?
I had that on my notes as a topic. I'm glad.
How about that?
Mhm.
I lost sleep this week thinking about that matchup. And then, boy, I didn't see Aaron Donald once today. I didn't see that
I said it
monster
on this
one
week's
time.
show, like we have always found a way to contain him.
Mhm.
Brunskill
Yeah.
is the guy that just always contained him. Like Aaron
Yes,
Donald has
Brunskill,
not
that's
really
his
ever
name.
had good games against us. Yeah, Brunskill was the Aaron Donald whisperer.
Yep. There you go. We forgot it. There you go. Brunskill. That's right.
Yeah.
That was very
I think-
surprising.
and-
Like
and
I think we just
And I think Aaron
I
Banks
think we went
is a special lineman. That dude,
yeah,
man.
He really came along, didn't he not?
Yeah.
We wrote him off.
I mean,
didn't
we was down
Lamar
on
got
him for
written
like the
off,
first
too.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about dudes who were written off early in their careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did write him off, did we not?
I didn't. Maybe you guys did. I got tweets with receipts about Lenore,
Okay.
about Banks, about Purdy. But speaking of Purdy, though, I want to talk about his overthrows because I think we need to talk about them.
Okay.
Let's keep it 100. Are we concerned because we killed Jimmy, and he was in the Super Bowl, but Jimmy was absolutely killed for his overthrows. Are we concerned about him?
there's some concern, but I think he's gonna go watch that tape and he's gonna correct it. Because the difference between Jimmy overthrowing and what Purdy did, Purdy looked distraught from it. Like he was pissed at himself.
He talked
Jimmy
about it
just
after the game.
smiled.
He was real mad about it.
Yeah, and Jimmy would just smile and laugh it off, whatever. You can tell in the game that it bothered him that he missed those throws.
Yeah.
You know he's going to work on it. He's going to correct it, and I think he'll be better for it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I just want to see the accuracy on the deep throws. That's all.
Yeah, Purdy after the game on the 3 overthrows said those are on me. I've got to hit them in stride and be significantly better. It's what you got to do as an NFL quarterback, and I take that on myself. That's the
See,
captain of that's the
accountability.
captain of your football team right there.
That's something
that's a-
Jimmy never did.
Oh no,
Jimmy never
no.
he never took accountability. It was always the team.
Yeah.
The team needs to do better.
Yeah, the team needs to do better.
I wanted to
Don't,
ask
don't
you
give up a
guys-
10-point lead in the Super Bowl, Jimmy, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so the last couple of years under Jimmy, when we were down by 7, when we were down by 3, I don't know, but I'm gonna speak for myself. I had the sense that we weren't gonna recover from it. I never got the sense we'd come back.
I agree.
Today, I never got that feeling. I was 100% confident that
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was gonna come through. Am I the only one? Mav,
So- Go ahead, Matt.
Nah, I was there. I mean, I seen it. I know what Purdy can do. I've watched Purdy in college, and like again, my only beef was the way the 49ers handled the quarterback situation. I have no beef against Purdy.
Mhm.
Only thing I saw today was the overthrows that we just talked about, and I want to see him really put accuracy on those throws.
Mhm.
That's it.
So for me, I mean, even though I put it in the text, like I never once said, "Oh, if we go down 2 scores, the game's over." I said, going down 2 scores going into the second. I mean, if you go down a score at the end of the first half and then the Rams get the ball back, at the time they were moving the ball at will. I thought, oh man, going down 2 scores right off the bat that's going to be hard. But I never in my gut thought, okay, if they go down 2 scores, the game's over. Not once, because for some reason, again, I have this sense of comfort, because if that was Jimmy and they would go down 2 scores in the second half, Jimmy's going to be taking bad sacks. He's going to move. He's going to fumble a snap. He's going to get sacked for no reason. When Purdy, if something goes wrong, he throws the ball away. He evades the sack and tries to push the play a little bit longer before making a decision. I just feel like his presence under center is significantly more comfortable than Jimmy was. And again, not taking away from Jimmy, he won 40 games as a Niner quarterback. He had like a 600 win percentage and went to a Super Bowl. But nonetheless, it feels different with Purdy because I feel like he is a true game manager. And I think he has the trust of all of his teammates. And that's just how I feel. And they work so hard for him. And the fact that I think his head coach trusts him too. I think it takes balls in a way to even make an effort for those 3 deep balls, because that's not part of the Shanahan offense. And you don't have those receivers that maybe Jennings is the kind of guy that can stretch the field at that because he's a big guy. But Ayuk and Debo are possession guys. They're run a slant, catch the ball 7 yards in, and run another 10 or 12. So to even attempt those three deep balls, to me, that tells me that Shanahan is really willing to test the limits with Purdy. I think that issue will get fixed. And again, it's not a knock on his arm. If that's Jalen Hurts isn't even reaching the receiver. Purdy's throwing the ball 5 or 8 yards ahead. So the arm strength that everyone worried about after that surgery, the arm strength is there. He can throw the ball down the field. That's clear. Now it's a matter of let's hit these dudes in stride. That's the part that he has to correct. And there's nothing in me that thinks that it can't be fixed.
I agree. I mean, I honestly have rather him overthrow it than underthrow it.
For sure. Yeah, I'd rather that too.
Yeah,
you
that's for
underthrow
sure.
those, you're looking at interceptions if you underthrow those.
Oh yeah. The other guy I wanted to talk about is CMC. We have to talk about the CMC trade. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
It's like I'm watching a Madden game.
Yeah, that's got to go down. I know we talk about a lot of our misses when it comes to draft picks and bad trades, but can we talk about CMC and the addition of him?
Can we talk about how dumb the Panthers are for basically getting
Right.
nothing in
Why
return
would
for
the Panthers
CMC?
trade us CMC?
They must have thought he was going to continue to be injury prone. That has to be the only logical explanation. I
And
assume.
are we dressing any other guys? Because it doesn't seem like we are. Where's Elijah Mitchell?
I said it again. In the fourth quarter, they're up 10 points, and they're handing the ball off 3 times to CMC. And I'm like, get him off the field. Tell him, get the jacket on or get a hat on. Get Christian McCaffrey off the field with a 10-point lead. I don't want him taking any more hits.
In this game against a team like the Rams that we clearly underestimated, I don't blame him for keeping CMC in the game.
Oh, I don't
I
either.
mean-
I just didn't want to see it.
Yeah, at any point though, the Rams would have just came back, and then you would have had to send him back out there. Now Eli Mitchell, nah.
Aren't we nervous
I
about
don't
the
wanna
other
see
guys
him.
though? Can we not see why it's just CMC though, even though he's out there? I mean, for myself, Elijah Mitchell's an injury waiting to happen, and I love Jordan Mason, but I'm nervous with him fumbling.
Yeah, it's a fumble
it
way to
kind of
happen.
makes sense. You know what I mean? I can see why we're just riding the hell out of CMC the entire game.
Yep. I mean, the Niners got
But
away
you
with a
need
couple
CMC
things
for the
too, man.
year.
You do.
You do.
So
Yeah.
you can't ride him like that. Not every game. Okay, at least against the Giants, if we're up 10 points, he should take him out.
Bro, I
Especially if
expect CMC to have 150 yards and 15 carries, and you can take them. You can already send them back to Santa Clara at halftime.
Yeah, I do
Right.
expect his
Exactly. I mean,
workload to be drastically reduced against the Giants because that's a lot of
Yeah,
workload in 4
that's an Elijah
days.
Mitchell game.
Yeah, it
I'm not
sounds
even
like an
gonna sit
Elijah
here and
Mitchell
lie to
game.
you. As a former running back, I love the running game on both sides today. I mean that was just something of beauty to watch on
Mhm.
both sides. I was really impressed with Kyron Williams. Um, I can't really question was he really that good or did our D line just suck against him? That is pretty clear. Our D line sucked against them. We couldn't stop the run whatsoever.
I
Now
think
I
the
don't know
Rams
who's
played
going to
their
be
Super
playing
Bowl
for the
today.
Giants on Thursday, but are we sure we're able to stop them?
Mhm.
Look, the Giants do not look good, Mav. They do
They
not look
didn't
good
look
at
good, but
all.
they came
I
back.
don't even want to entertain any what ifs with the Giants because if we lose to the Giants,
Hey, look, the Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, right? So
true, that's true.
I don't know.
And we
I
did
don't
say
even.
the Rams was just
We'll
like
talk about it
all gone,
Wednesday.
right?
We'll talk about it on Wednesday. If Saquon's out for Thursday, it's gonna. My stupid self is gonna come on the show live stream and say 55 to like 3 win. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody called Gannon and was like, "Dude, we're supposed to be tanking. You're not supposed to win this game. Let the Giants win it, because that's insane. I can't believe they even won. You guys broke news to me about them winning. I thought they lost for
Mhm.
sure.
I just saw this stat as well. Fred Warner's sack was the first sack the Rams have given up so far through 2 weeks. So,
Needed that.
um,
Mm.
Can we
by the
talk
way, let's
about
talk.
Fred?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead,
please,
Chris. What do
come
you
on.
have? What do you have?
I
Yeah,
will
let's.
talk about Fred all
Yes,
day.
let's talk about Fred. So, look, I know we were concerned about the first half. They
Yeah.
picked us apart, right? But
Mhm.
something happened in that locker room at halftime.
Yeah.
There was adjustments, and if you ask me, there was Fred Warner.
Of
I'm
course.
almost positive there was a Fred Warner speech given at
Yeah.
halftime.
Had to have
Defense
been.
Okay,
coordinator Fred Warner.
Defensive
exactly.
coordinator. Yeah.
So let's talk about Fred. Fred is bigger than just a linebacker, in my opinion. All
hmm
right, there's a reason why we're able to go from Sala to D'Amico to now Wilkes,
hmm
and kind of just pick up right where we left off. It's Fred Warner. The
Yeah, I
guy's a
agree.
defensive coordinator on the field. His leadership is undeniable. So
hmm
I'm almost positive there was a Fred Warner speech. Mark my words, Mav. If a Fred Warner speech comes out on 49 hours or on any clip this week,
Yep.
trust me, because that defense was completely different in that second half.
Significantly. And like, look,
It
they
was.
even, regardless of how impressive, Kyron Williams was, he still only averaged 3.7 yards a carry. Like that line and those linebackers led by Warner, they were stopping the run pretty well.
Yeah, but if you're watching the game, you wouldn't even think it was just 3.7 yards per carry.
I know. Fred Warner had 11 tackles today and a sack. The dude was everywhere. And
Everywhere.
I was going to ask you guys a question before because it was actually brought up in one of another. I don't know if you guys mention other content creator shows, but there was another show that I was listening to from a podcast version
Who
of
was
guys
it?
that I know. The Gold Standard. I was Rob and Rob.
Okay.
Did someone just sneeze? Rob and Levin, they were answering a fan question, and I thought it was really interesting. Fred Warner is what 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 6th season, and they were starting to. And the one fan asked the question: Is it okay to start comparing Fred Warner to Patrick Willis? Is it okay to start comparing the two in terms of greatness?
I think it's overdue.
I agree. I think one, they're kind of different in a way. I think I think Patrick Willis is a Hall of Famer, but I think Fred's more athletic. Is a more athletic specimen than Patrick Willis was, or I'm sure he still is. So, is it starting? So the conversation, Mav, Ron, and Mike, start being had that we're watching probably one of the top 2 best linebackers in franchise history here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, the conversation definitely should be had.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm on board yet, But what I
I
can
need
say
more
is,
time.
yeah, there definitely two different type of linebackers playing in two completely different type of games.
Hmm.
The one thing that I had, that I knocked on Fred about, that I played linebacker my whole life. So I mean,
Hmm.
the one thing that Fred lacked that I see this year is thump. He's hitting with
For
more
sure.
thump.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
Patrick Willis hit you,
Yeah.
everybody knew it.
Hmm.
And for me personally, that's kind of where I have him. It's Patrick Willis was more of that dog type of guy, like boom bruiser, and Fred's just more for the modern day. So I think it's fair to have, but I still think they're in different categories.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
agree with you. I'm sorry, I agree with you at the fact that there are two different players. But what gets me with it, and the fact that I'm putting them on par with each other, is either one of them go out, the whole defense looks different. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they're
agree.
the anchors.
Yep.
That's why I'm keeping them at the same par. Fred will be in the Hall of Fame one day, Lombardi or not.
I'll be there. I will take that trip.
Because Patrick
So
has a
he'll
pick
be there.
six, and it was a pretty good pick six, and I think
Damn
he was
right.
faster. And I seen Patrick Willis hawk somebody down from behind too. So, and I'm pretty sure it was a wide receiver or a running back. I haven't seen Fred do that yet. If we're just talking about physical skill set, I'm still gonna lean on Patrick because
Patrick had LeVar Bowman as well, did he not?
yeah, but like if you
Oh
just
God, what a
specific, yeah,
combo that
what a
was.
right,
And who does
Dear
Fred have?
God,
Greenlaw,
Greenlaw.
See?
the enforcer.
I mean,
So
I'll
I
tell you what
mean,
though, I haven't seen a linebacker go sideline to sideline like Fred Warner in a long time.
Right.
That
Downfield
dude,
coverage.
I mean, he's like a cheetah when he has to go to the sideline and go after a ball or go after an offensive player. But
Mhm.
again, they're different players. But give me 3 more years. I mean, God, Fred Warner's like just turned 26.
Right.
So
Right.
give me 2 more All Pro seasons, and then I'll sit here and be like, yeah, they're probably 1A and 1B.
man,
How about this, Fred? Get me a Super
we
Bowl. Let's go with that.
we could have talked
Right.
about Chris Borland as well had he not retired.
Yeah,
You
man,
know,
you're right.
it's like saying you can't compare Bryant Young to Bosa.
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
dude, if we're talking about it, that's the exact team that we have. I mean, you can pretty much take all those guys and put them on one team, and like, who's going to stop them?
I know. I agree, man. I
Well,
agree.
let's talk about the other guy. Let's talk about the other guy real quick, Greenlaw, because I
And he
don't
had
think.
7
I mean,
tackles today.
yeah, he did have 7 tackles, and he had a couple
4
penalties, did he
assists.
not?
5 assists.
Well, you got 5. I
Did,
got
did he have a couple penalties today?
Did he have a bonehead penalty again?
One penalty was
Personal
bullshit.
foul.
The
They
one
called it back, I
penalty
think,
was
right?
trash.
No, he
He
did.
was, he was roughing somebody up on the ground or something.
and he fell right on him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the
Agreed.
penalty, but he got called for a personal foul.
It wasn't
Mhm.
a personal foul, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think
I
it was
thought
a
it was a
personal
botched
foul
call.
either.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a bad
Speaking
call.
of that, though, can I make a comment about Hufanga?
Of course.
Yeah.
He needs to lighten it up, like when the play's over, because he's getting away with some stuff, and
True.
he's
He
gonna
is.
he's gonna start costing his team in penalties. Like
Mhm.
he's gonna start getting called for personal fouls,
He's got to be
like
careful. I
little
agree with you.
extra leg pulls and twitches. It's
Mhm.
like you gotta stop doing that,
Yeah.
man.
He's gonna get some late activity 15-yard penalties pretty soon, and that's something that we just can't. I'm not going to tolerate. I will send him a strongly worded fan mail letter.
Agreed.
But other than that, guys, like anything else on this week 2 victory?
Okay,
Nah, man.
even though the Rams made the stop and got the ball back, but they got away with a fumble by Debo.
I was going to bring it up about 3 minutes ago when I said they got away with some things. And even with the timeout that the Niners called, I still don't understand why they didn't throw that challenge. They had all that extra time to look at that. That's a fumble.
clear fumble.
They must have saw something that they didn't think they were gonna win it.
They must
They
have
had
saw
that,
something
like
that
I
would have been
said-
inconclusive, maybe.
Not enough to
Yeah, 'cause
overturn
they
it.
did have
Yeah.
when they called that timeout. I was like, damn, they're gonna flow the challenge. But
I will say though that maybe that's a makeup or a make good because that was a catch by Brandon Ayuk that they called an incomplete pass.
yep,
Yeah.
That was a catch. So, before that ball even hit the ground, his left knee was down, and then his elbow went down, and then the ball kind of came out a little bit. That was a catch that they did not get because, that's a 4th and 2 if he makes that catch, and you probably go for it.
Yeah.
So that was a big play, and I thought, look, okay, cool. They messed up the Ayuk play, so fine. That's all right. I'll take this Debo fumble. It was a much different place in the game at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Ayuk's okay. I definitely don't want to see him on the injury report for next
Yeah.
week. 'Cause
That's it. I don't want to see him play Thursday.
Man, I hate that it's a short week because that's the kind of guy that I really want to see out there. They really got, and Shanahan does this almost every year now. They really got to get Kittle more involved in the passing game. Like they just have to do it. CMC is such a talented runner that you don't necessarily need George Kittle to block to run block every single play. He's such a talented receiving tight end, and I think he's so vital. And if you don't have an Ayuk there for a week, or even if you have an Ayuk that's 50 to 75%, I would love to see Kittle over the middle 5-6 times with a touchdown in the around there. I really want to see Kittle involved a little bit more.
Yeah.
I got him here for 3 receptions and 30 yards. Is that what you got?
That's what I have.
Yeah.
I hope the plan is to open him up more once we see McKivitz get off his training wheels, and once we see, because really to me Kittle's a true right tackle. So if McKivitz can hold his own, then I expect Kittle to run more routes because he's out there helping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of why we did good on the right side of the ball.
Yep.
What about I wanted to talk real quick here, and then we can wrap up. Ambry Thomas is a concern out there. Our corner debt. I know we have $41 million in cap space. Where would we spend it to complete this team? Because I'm concerned about Ambry Thomas. I know Mav said, and he's right. We don't. Fortunately for us, I don't see a lot of threat with receiver cores this year. Cowboys can cause problems potentially with Ambry Thomas out there, and he gets benched almost every game. He gets to start, and he never finishes the game.
No. Nope.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
I have no words for that one.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's all I have.
Same here, man. I mean, look, we'll be back here Wednesday, right? And then
Yes,
we'll be
sir.
back here Thursday night.
Yep.
That's it.
It was a good game though, Mav. Hey, Mav, next time let's wait till after halftime before we start getting the fire.
You have to say that to me too. I was getting quite animated, so
Both of you
I'll
guys.
calm
Yeah,
down.
I was
Calm
like,
it
guys,
down next
calm
time, guys.
down. It's a division game. It's the Rams. We're gonna get this all situated. Like,
Okay, wait, hold on.
Right.
Before we say
Reactions.
this though, I think we need to establish what type of fans we are. Chris, are you like I take you to be not a lose your faith guy, but like just holy crap, I'm gonna throw my remote at the wall type of fan? Or
I play the game too. So and
Right.
just
I'm right
like
there
you-
with you,
right,
Chris.
I'm a linebacker. So like when I see things going wrong, I live like almost drive to drive, because like I feel like mentally I'm there. Like I'm
cool.
I literally take it drive to drive. I don't take it like half to half. I'm in that moment, so that's where I'm at. So when you guys see me flipping out, it's just like because I'm in that moment, and then
Okay.
I'm fine.
All good.
Dude,
All good.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie, dude. I cry if I take a real loss. Like Chris just said, I feel like I'm at the game. Like that's me. And if I lose, I'm crying, bro. Like real talk. Like I'm Debo or something
yeah,
on the
don't talk
sideline.
about
Man,
your
we should have won.
Dolphins like that.
Say what?
I said, don't talk about your Dolphins like that.
I mean, I'm not gonna talk about them Dolphins like that. You get to watch them tonight.
That's
You
right.
watch them
Chris,
lose.
go ahead.
Matter of fact, the game is on, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up our first post-game show. We'll be back here Wednesday night for our normal time, and then Thursday we'll be right back at it for the post-game show after the Giants. First home. This is 3 home games in a row now coming up, so this is a really good time to really, pull ahead of everybody else in the NFC, because this is a conference that can be had. And I think the Niners are right there for the taking. So for Ron, Mike, Mav, I'm Christy Francisco. This has been the Niners Lounge postgame show. Our San Francisco 49ers are 2-0, so let's make it 3. Thursday night football coming up. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll catch you guys down the road. And as always, go Niners.
Yes, sir.